Hi guys, Nabil from QLand Property. Welcome to our first QLand Property information / value based video. I know you've seen us before on the socials a lot, you've seen my face. However, now we have decided that on a weekly basis, starting from the new financial year, on a weekly basis, we're going to be putting out at least one video that will give you some information on property market trends in Brisbane and potentially going forward in the rest of Australia as well. We're kicking things off with a question that so many people around me, clients, friends, family and more, hit me up with. As a first-time buyer, can I afford to purchase a property in Brisbane in 2025? And that's fair enough. I mean, prices are up, interest rates unpredictable, and the media, well, that's not the best place where you want to be getting your information and your confidence, is it? So let's break this down and see if you're in a position to be able to purchase your first property in Brisbane. Now let's talk about what's been happening in Brisbane from a macro perspective at the very least. As of June this year, Brisbane's median house price was approximately just over $1 million, which was reflecting about 6.2% of annual growth. One of the highest cities in Australia in regards to growth. What does that mean in the way of affordability? Is there still affordable and livable suburbs in Brisbane? Yeah, definitely. Brisbane is becoming a lot more of a satellite city type of area, similar to what Sydney has been. The Greater Logan area, the Greater Ipswich area, the Moreton Bay region, fantastic areas with new estates, growth corridors, and the potential to purchase or build in those areas. Other areas from an affordability perspective are probably areas that were previously not so desirable. A lot of areas that, like when we grew up, and that our parents potentially wouldn't want to have bought, are now becoming very desirable. Areas like Woodridge, Rocklea, some inner city areas as well, Maruka, Coorparoo, Cooper's Plains, are becoming areas that are a lot more desirable because of their proximity to infrastructure, schools, highways, arterial roads, work, city. So you can find a lot of gems in those kind of areas. Now, the top performing suburbs, as a matter of fact, in terms of price growth, have been Rocklea, Woodridge, Boondall, Alexandra Hills. Some of the areas that I just mentioned that are becoming a lot more desirable as well. Now, despite these rising prices and huge growth, there is still a lot of opportunity in these kind of areas, in many areas. There was about 44% in the past year of houses sold under the price bracket of $850,000. Land prices are going up, build prices have started going up a bit, albeit not as much as what it was maybe a year or two ago, but there's still increases that we're seeing in build prices as well. We need to be in outer suburbs if we're trying to get in that affordability range. If you go to places like Flagstone, South Maclean, Greenbank even, Logan Reserve, Chambers Flat, Park Ridge areas have become a bit higher. You're probably looking at around the $800,000 to $850,000 mark if you're lucky. Otherwise, it's probably sitting a little bit above that. Yarrabilba is still a relatively cheap area, quite far out. Problem is, we can't get land out there. It's so difficult. As I mentioned, Flagstone, South Maclean, Greenbank, still achievable. Land is registering maybe about 6 months away. You can fix a house and land package in those areas for around that $750,000 mark. Now, with new house and land packages, we're generally seeing that a lot of first-time buyers are trying to stay within that $750,000 threshold because that's where you're getting your $30,000 grant. This will now start to change a lot more because of the Buy to Boost scheme that our Premier here in Queensland has announced last week. So what that is doing is we can purchase, or first-time buyers can purchase a property with 2% deposit. The remainder, if it is an established property, depending on if it's established or a new house, the government will be contributing 25 or 30% of equity towards that. I'll get back to that in a second. Suburbs-wise, for new house and land packages, Ripley in the Western Corridor, Ripley, Collingwood Park, outer Springfield areas, fantastic new and first-home buyer areas. Huge growth there in the last couple of years. In my opinion, I think the bigger part of the growth has happened there. So if we're looking for good capital growth going forward, I'm not sure if we're going to get that as much as perhaps further out in Logan, for example, if you were to go to Flagstone, South Maclean, Greenbank areas. These areas you can still find houses well within that $750,000, or house and land packages well within that $750,000 price range. If you come out towards Logan Reserve, Park Ridge, Chambers Flat area, it's gone high again. Something that we could find last year for under $750 now is definitely reaching that $850 mark. However, proximity to highways, arterial roads, good schools, it's all there. What that tells us is those growth corridors are still great entry points. We need to remember as first home buyers, as I've been a first home buyer, a lot of people around me are first home buyers, friends, family, and even clients, is we need an entry point. We need an entry point, we build some equity, we build some capital, and then whether we want to stay there or move, we can use that as a stepping stone. Now let's talk about the Boost to Buy scheme that our Premier David Crisafulli announced last week. The objective of this scheme is to assist first home buyers, eligible first home buyers, to be able to enter the market with a lower deposit amount. This is done through a equity share model. So for new homes, the government will have a equity share of 30%. For established or existing homes, it's 25%. The deposit requirement is 2% of the property up to $1 million. Eligibility criteria is if singles who are earning up to $150,000 and couples who are earning up to $225,000. This opened up on July the 1st of this year, so in the new financial year of 2025. And this can be stacked with your first homeowner grant. So if your property that you're purchasing is a brand new property under $750,000, you'll also get a $30,000 first homeowner grant as well. Stamp duty is abolished as well for purchasing of new homes only. What does government equity contribution mean? Instead of giving you the cash as the grant is, what they do is they have an equity contribution in your property. So what happens is if you down the track refinance or you sell the property or to buy another property, what would happen is the equity contribution that the government has given you, that would be paid back, and whatever amount remains is your amount. All in all, what that means essentially is, let's just say, I've got an example here. If you were to borrow $600,000, if you were to buy a home at $600,000, you put in 2%, which is $12,000. The government contributes 30% of that, which is $180,000. What you need to do is you need a loan then for the remaining 68%, because 30% has come from the government, 2% you've put down a deposit, the remaining 68%, which works out to $408,000. What that means for you, you're borrowing less, you need a smaller deposit, obviously, as we've mentioned, and your repayments are a lot less as well. What happens afterwards, later, as I touched on before, when you sell or refinance the house, you repay the government its share based on the equity that it has put in. You can also choose to buy out the government's equity share. So if your property's gone up in value, the government's portion increases. If it's gone down in value, you sell for lower, it remains at that 30%. I think this is a really beneficial scheme that has come out. What that does, it makes home ownership a lot more accessible and easy for first home buyers. The things that you need to remember in this is you don't pay interest on the government's equity. However, as your property price increases in value, so does the government's equity in that increase as well. You must maintain the home, pay rates, and insure the property just as a normal homeowner does. We can't forget the $30,000 first homeowner grant under the $750,000 threshold, as well as the stamp duty waiver on new homes. Now, if you've been renting or been standing on the sidelines for so long, this is the opportunity to start to talk to someone about what your options are. I did talk to someone over the weekend at my son's friend's birthday party, and he's got an amount saved up, and he thought that he was going to have to save up another 6 to 8 months to get into the market, whereas I told him straight away, based on my experience, that he could get into the market right now. If he started making those moves and getting that information, he's ready to get into the market. It might take him some time to find the land, and the registration of the land could be a few months away, but the sooner that you get into the market, with the market being so increasingly volatile and impulsive over the last few years, the sooner that you get into the market, the better it is for yourself, where you can get a better price. I can pretty much say with high confidence that today's market, or what you purchase, a contract with a new house and land package today, will be less than what you were to purchase at the end of this year. A shameless plug for QLand Property. At this point, we can assist you. Give us a call, get in touch with us. We can help you get in touch with a broker. We have contacts with banks, with lenders, brokers. We can point you in the right direction. We can give you an overview of where you stand and how we can assist you or give you your options of what you may have to take the next step, or put you onto a pathway where we can work towards getting you into your first home. Here at QLand Property, we're a buyer-centric agency. We assist with purchasing established properties, or we can assist you with house and land packages, off-the-plan townhouses, units, and apartments. Whatever your need be, whatever your requirement may be, and depending on your situation, we can have a chat to you. We have free consultation sessions where we can sit down, look at your situation, deposit amounts, a pathway to working towards getting your deposit, or working towards building or purchasing your new home. There has been countless situations where I have had chats to people who were just calling, potentially on working out if they could potentially buy a property at some point in time in the future, without them even realizing that they had the options, or they were in a situation where we could assist them to get them into a new property within months rather than what they had expected in years. If you're standing on the sideline, not sure if you need more information, or if you're interested in any other information with regards to new houses, purchasing houses, units, or townhouses, please get in touch with us. DM us, send us a message, you can give us a call. we would love to help you out. Even if it is just a what if scenario or some way we could guide you, we would love to guide you through that process. Guys, I'm committed to getting more videos out for you. Please subscribe, share, press the notification bell, and whatever else I learn about YouTube, I'll let you know the next time.